Okay, color pencil form. So we're going to start with a circle. So just like with the graphite, first of all you want to pick a light source. Make sure you have an idea of where the light's coming. We're going to do some gradient and practice before we start the forms. Pushing hard to make a darker value and then lifting to create a lighter value. We're going to practice applying this gradient to the form. So here's my light source over here. I'm just going to apply multiple dark to light gradients. And I'm even moving my page a little bit. So that I can get the best angle of that dark to light. I'm really pushing hard on this shadow side. And then I want to avoid any hard edges, so I'm just going to keep lifting up my pencil, lifting up my pencil. I'm going to bring some light values by just really gentle pressure around where that highlight is. And I'm using kind of a circular light motion, not much pressure, to make a nice smooth gradient. So this is just one value. It's light blue. I can use a dark blue for some shadows. I want to challenge you guys to not use black and see how the colors blend together to create different shadows and highlights. So I'm just gonna pull the darker blue. Cast shadow. This is the light. Come on over here. I'm gonna be a cast shadow. Here. Bring this one back. All right. Next, we're gonna do a cylinder. I'm gonna start with red. Try different color combos on each form that you shade. Remember, when you draw the cylinder form, you want to make sure you have two vertical lines that are parallel and a curved bottom, a curved top. And then you can apply dark, so harder pressure, to lighter pressure. And then same thing, I'm gonna push harder on this edge and go lifting, lifting, lifting to make it lighter. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And then add a little cross contour. And then if you want your cylinder to look like it's a cup or a void in here, you could do a cross contour direction that kind of wraps around. Right, so here's the front edge, and then this one would kind of wrap around. I'm going to use a green, like a teal green, to play around with neutrals. So if you use complementary colors, you'll neutralize the color and it makes beautiful shadows. It really creates lots of depth when you use a neutral. When you use two complementary colors, any two complements. So if you use a cool complement of a warmer complement, for example, red and green are complements. So I used red and now I'm using this green. It's like a teal green on the shadows, and then lifting gently. makes it look very three-dimensional. Here, the light is kind of in the front, so I'm going to make the shadow, cast shadow, kind of come behind the form. Looking at a source, referencing sources is the best thing you can do for capturing the right angles of your cast shadows. Bring some of this blue on the form because it's like a blue violet, so I used it on the cast shadow. Next we're going to do cone. Now when you remember your cross contour, you're going to work from each side. I'm going to go from dark, this angle here, video, dark to light as you move and change the angle towards the center. Up darker to lighter to lighter to lighter towards the center. I'm going to refine my lines here. They got a little crazy. Just make this cone taller. There we go. And then a little cross contour, across this curved form. So one color is a base, and then pick a cool color, a complement color, a range of colors. Maybe this one will be an analogous color scheme where we've got green, blue-green, lime green, all the colors that are next to each other in the color wheel. Actually using the yellow in the highlight and some dark blue in the shadow. And I'm lifting, lifting, lifting. So really I'm just applying layers of multiple gradients across the contour of the form. And if you can shade these four forms, we're going to do cube next. If you can shade them well with smooth gradients, you can shade anything. A nose, an eye, figure, a dog, whatever you're trying to draw from observation. Make the cast shadow nice and dark. And then we have sphere, cylinder, cone. I'll do cube down below over here. Actually, we'll do it right here. We'll do orange. Start with a square. It's a true square, as much as you can from scratch without a ruler. Make sure they're right angles. Pick an angle. You could use a vanishing point. If you made every corner, these 3 corners, 1, 2, 3, go back to your vanishing point. You'll create a great sense of depth, or you can just try to eyeball it and make each of these angles pretty much match. I'm going to pretend this is my light source, vanishing point there. So maybe this side here will be the lightest. Maybe it'll go from a little bit darker on this end to a little bit lighter here. Maybe this, the top would be even darker. Dark to light. You want to get rid of your outlines here. So whatever edge that you have, you want to shade the area next to it dark enough so that edge disappears. Okay. And then I think this front side, if this is a light source back here, would be the darkest. So I'm just going to start from the edges, crisp up this edge, and pull the color pencil in. So a couple different ways to create shading and value differences with the color pencil. First of all, what I'm doing here is applying firm pressure. It's really pushing the pigment of the color pencil onto the fibers of the paper. And as you see, my directions that I'm applying my color pencil are just, well, just two directions, vertical, horizontal, right? But now I can use my complement here, and I can kind of make a shadow coming down here, neutralizing it. It looks like it's more in shadow by doing a little layer of the complement over the intense hue of the orange. I might also do a little bit of that here. Differentiate between those two sides. And then you can just, if it looks too blue when you do that kind of shadow, you can add another layer of the orange on top.